Yo, good day. We
What's
are live. Well, I'm live. Rod's live. We're all live. But I just happen to be at one of our probably favorite dudes in the industry, Jamie Gonzalez, JNG
What's up, brother?
Auto
How are
Recon.
you?
Thank you for inviting me into your shop, man. It's cool.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming out. It's been a long time. We haven't been together for a while.
It's been a minute.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen you
So
for like a year
I know it's
or
been a
something
long,
like
and you
that.
got big changes. We were doing a little bit of walk around your shop, and I was like, Rod would love to be here, especially that new section.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
thanks for not having me. No.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. I wish you were here.
We'll get there next time. We'll do it. We'll do a surprise live at Jamie's shop. We'll just show up.
We should do anytime, man. You guys are always welcome. Anytime you guys want to be here, you guys can come.
Yeah, dude. And by the way, we are also live on Born Detailers TV. So we're
Yes.
live on RoadFS, YouTube, Born Detailers TV. So if you haven't subscribed to Jamie Gonzalez and Shad Stoker's show, you need to go out and connect. Make sure you connect with us here at RoadFS. And dude, it's so cool. So one of the things before we got started, we were talking about how detailing has opened so many cool doors for you.
Yeah. No, because I didn't think I still love detailing, but we just do so much more than that now. It's not just cleaning, doing interiors and stuff. Like we still do that, but it pushed me to learn different skills, and starting from being mobile, detailing out of, well, obviously, we're in Salt Lake City, so it's cold. It's crazy, crazy cold. So from going to that to getting a shop to getting paint booths to getting dent guys to doing car storage to doing um just whatever we can do involving car paint
Yeah.
essentially is what we do here. You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to actual do restorations like full off. Like we're doing the job we're doing right now, we're doing a 1975 Carrera RS, and we completely disassembled it. So it's completely down to everything's out, motors out, it's just the skin, um, and sandblasted everything and just trying to restore everything. So that's it's actually probably the second job I've done. But this is the job that I'm like really trying to make as perfect as I can do.
Dude, yeah, we're
Yes.
definitely coming back to Utah because that's where I started my life, was doing that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
and for those of you even if you are already on Jamie's channel, you're gonna want to go through his videos and go look for one of my favorites, which is it's actually a Porsche, but it's an old 912, and it's a single stage dark green paint. And when you watch Jamie wet sand this thing, you can see the sanding marks, and it's like a machine is doing it. They're so uniform in the way that he's doing it that you'll be amazed. So I'm really I think it's awesome. I mean, we've watched you do this stuff. We caught you first time we ever met you was in Brigham Salazar's shop at it was actually at a PNS training, but
yeah, with Rennie.
yeah, we caught you there and we were like Jody and I both, we were like, dude, this guy's got some stuff, man. He's got some
The
skills.
guy
So
was real.
Yeah. No, we right. I feel like there's those people that you meet, and like right when you meet them, we just click.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like right away we're like, oh man, yeah, like we're gonna work by each other. Let's go
Yeah.
see what these guys can
Well,
do.
and it's been so fun because you mentioned, that you started out mobile. I mean, you've been on Road Fest probably 7 years now. I mean, a long time, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's been fun to watch you grow not only as a business, but also as a person, right?
Hmm.
And it's like I remember the first call we had with you and your wife, and we're doing a demo of the software, and you had all these big plans. And I came here a year ago, and you've gone from being mobile to now you have 5 buildings here.
Hmm.
They're all either doing detailing. You have your mobile guys, you have your paint bays, your restoration bay. And it's like you're constantly evolving, constantly growing. But you've also reached a point, and we were talking about this when we're walking around, where you can step back and you can work with the managers, right? You don't have
Hmm.
to get into the nitty gritty with every single employee. But I will say this. I made a referral to a really good friend of mine, Amy Thompson, who had some pretty bad damage on her head, and she's like, "Dude, Jamie Gonzalez's team is nothing but professional and stellar." And she goes, and the technician, all he could do is rave about you as a team leader. He's like, "Dude, he takes care of us. He's invested in us. He treats us well." So let's talk about some of the tools that you've implemented to build this kind of success.
Like just culture wise, I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people see me working as well. They don't just see me, I'm not doing it as much anymore, but they know that I will do anything that they're doing. I'm not, and I'll learn too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not, I can change my ways. That's it. Like I can change my ways. Like I'm doing completely different than I was doing last year, and I'm just willing to learn. And I feel like I think that they can see that from me, and I know that they're changing as well. So I can figure out like right when I know a detailer is like, dude, I know you don't like detailing anymore. You don't like doing interiors. So that's time for me to like, you could pick on cues when you're talking to people, like, or you're watching them work, and the way they're working, like, oh man, you're a great worker, but maybe you're burnt out on that. So let's move you into paint. Let's move you into dents. Let's move you. Maybe you don't even like that. Maybe you're just really good with customers, and maybe you should be answering phones and helping people.
But
So I feel like
one of the things that I notice about you, Jamie, is that, as like Jody was saying, is watching you not just in your shop, but also with your family and the way that you handle, watching your kids grow and the events that they get involved in and the support that you give them in that, you can see exactly how that equates back to your employees and to people you work with. Because as a dad, you want your kids to succeed. You want them to do whatever they need to do. And we've all had that kid that's like, man, I'm gonna be Pele. I'm gonna go into soccer. I'm gonna be, well, maybe for your younger crowd, David Beckham, or but I'm gonna go into soccer. And then they get into it, and then a year into it, they're like, yeah, this ain't it. I'm gonna be, whatever.
Yeah.
And you just like support them. That's what's cool about it. Doesn't matter what your kids are into, man, whether it's dance or karate, or if they wanted to get into cars, but you're not forcing their hand. I can see that when you see the pictures of them, they're smiling and they're happy doing what they're doing. I've got this thing with my kids where they get nervous when they want to quit something, because as parents, you tell them not to quit. Same thing with an employer or team member. You're like, don't quit, but they get shy to come tell you that they're not interested in it. And so my standard with them is like, I go, look, I don't care if you want to be into nude river bungee surfing, whatever it is you want to do, we're going to support you. That's a new sport. I'm going to try to get it in the Olympics.
Yeah. Let's do it.
The dynamics.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, but I'll support it.
Baby.
Yeah.
So I see that in you. So that's one thing that I pick up on.
I think that's an important thing, right? I think a lot of business owners, they hire a detailer and they're good, right? They're dedicated, they have good work ethic, but you can tell, right? They start slumping, they go a little slower, right? And having the wisdom to go, all right, he's either burnt out or this really isn't in his wheelhouse. Maybe he's good at it, but he's better served over there. So, I think a lot of times we, even ourselves, get stuck in a role, and that role's not the right fit. It doesn't fit our natural gift. And it sounds like you figured out a way to recognize when people need to make a shift. Have you found that shift needs to be temporary, or is it usually permanent?
Mostly permanent, I would say, like, because when you move, at least here, the jump in pay is different, is completely different when you're actually going into body work, prep work, or stuff. So it's a different pay structure. So I feel like it is a bump up here, but we like the detailing background because it's you as a detailer, when you're cleaning up everyone's work, your eye is completely different than what a body guy is or what a paint guy is looking at. So it's like you have to know that. And the same thing too, if you want to be a really good polisher, you have to know finishing. You have to know wet sand. You can know how to do paint corrections, and that's cool, but you need to know how far you can take paint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and I think that gives you the advantage if you've got people that are coming, either to or from body work. And I think that my opinion is that most detailers need to go through a class on automotive paint, because you need to
Yes.
understand it from the base level, right? You might be trying to get some quote scratches out, and they're actually sanding marks in a repaint that are underneath the clear coat that you are never going to get out. We were at a situation a couple weeks ago where people were polishing and they're like, there's a haze on this, there's a haze on this. No, it was a fadeaway paint job. It was starting out in one color and there was black over the top of it under, and it was like, dude, if you keep polishing that, you're going to take away the fadeaway. And so understanding paint, I think, is the key to detailing, because if you don't understand the difference between lacquer, base coat, clear coat, and single stage, and what those properties of those different types of paint are, you're not going to be a good polisher.
I think you just impressed Jamie.
Yeah,
He kind of gave me, hey, this guy knows paint.
Yeah. No, and you have like to at least to take it to the next level. It's just two separate types of jobs. I would say it's like if you're, sanding and paint corrections, like they go together, but it's like levels of perfection. You're trying to, are you leveling out paint? Are you, it's just two separate things. And at least here at our shop, like a paint correction is different between us sanding. Like our sand jobs is like taking nibs out, taking orange peel out and trying to get glass. That's two separate guys. Like our paint correction guys that does a lot of two of our paint correction guys that do only paint corrections, and literally they do it all day. They literally, these guys are, if they're working, it's 8 hours. Like they're polishing 8 hours and they do not turn off their polishers. They're just in there going, because they don't wash either. So we have a wash guy. So we have someone that washes, clays, and gets it ready. So after paint, it goes and dries. It comes into our wash, and they'll clay. They get off all the overspray. If there's tape lines, any excess, paint, then they'll do that, and then they give it to the sand guy. Then they do all their stuff after they sand it, because you get all the all the clear coat dripping. Then it'll go back to finish to them, and then it leaves. So the guys that are sanding and polishing, that's all they do. And those guys.
And there's a huge difference between something that's been quote freshly painted and something that just came, from a dealer.
Oh yeah.
It's a different world. I mean, and I think I'm really excited because I've never left that world. I still have stuff that I do in my own shop, but it's different, and people don't seem to understand that, there's a different level of attention that you're giving somebody that's like, hey, I need my Ultima polished. No knock on anybody that's got an Ultima. You want it to look good. But then somebody that brings in a restoration of a 911, there's a different mentality from those two people. And again, you're just serving the customer's needs and you're meeting customer expectations. So it's the same mentality that way, but it's a different process to get there.
Yeah, definitely different. But back on the culture thing that I was thinking about, I feel like even as a business owner, and this is for all business owners, you fall in love in different ways in business. So like there's a time that you're going to be like, you don't care about the detailing anymore. You want to focus on making money, or you want to focus on, branding, or you want to focus on all these different things. But yeah, so I was just thinking about that.
I like that too, because, Rod and I, we actually hit our 15th anniversary in business this month, right?
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Hell
dude,
yeah.
it's so cool. I mean, in a large part, it's because of our customers. It's because of our team. It's in large part because of Rod and I's determination and drive and blood, sweat, and tears, late nights, early mornings, all that stuff. But I like the way that you said that. You fall in love with different aspects of the business, or you also recognize that you're not good at something. So like Rod and I we're working with a company right now that's helping us elevate our social media and our presence with just our brand overall, right? And we recognize that, all right, we've got us to a certain level, but in order for us to go to the next level, we have to bring in some different skills.
Oh, of course.
And I think a lot of business owners struggle with that because they're so used to doing everything that letting go is hard.
Yeah, and I think the main thing, if you're trying to get, like, you want to fall, like, you're good, I'm good. I realize what I'm good at is I'm good at dealing with people. Like, I'm better at that than anything else. Like,
Yeah.
I like to deal with people. I'm really good at getting 15 guys here to not hate each other. Like, I'm really good to make people come to work and realize, like, this person doesn't like this guy has a different view of this guy has a different view of this. But anything that outside what doesn't happen here at the shop, they agree in what we're trying to do here. We're trying to, we're all trying to make money. We all want better. That's what they agree on. So anything else doesn't matter. I try to figure out how I can get everyone to, obviously we spend our lives here.
Yeah.
We don't spend that much time at home. We're doing this. But on your guys' thing, what do you feel like your main, like, what is your new passion right now for what you guys are doing?
You know, I've been saying this for about a year. Um, in my personal passion, other than making the business
Yeah,
successful,
yeah.
and but I really want to have an impact. Right? We were talking about that before we got on the podcast about how kind of your interest shifts. Like, I really want to have an impact on your personal life, right? I'm like
Yeah.
you. I can get people together. I love working with people and figuring all that. I'm a people person, right? So at the core, I want to have an impact on you personally, which will then have an impact on your business. So my word, my driving word right now is impact. Everything I want that I do, whether it's in my personal podcast on Father's Fire, whether it's my relationships with my family and my kids or with you, and it's like, how can I have the greatest impact on you and your business, right? Rod's is probably a little different, but that's personally mine.
Yeah, what's yours, man? Like,
Well,
what's your thing?
it's not that far off. I really like watching businesses grow. And I mean, so for instance, watching where you've come, I want to
Oh,
see
yeah.
all of our shops do that. I want to see our shops get to wherever they can. I just love being part of that and hearing the stories about how something helped, right? I'm really proud of some of the stuff we've done in the past, but I'm always trying to drive forward and see, like, what is that next thing that we can help somebody do. And it's fun. That's, Jody and I are both people. But in real life, I'm kind of a private guy. So I know I come off as all jokey and, all that stuff, but I'm super private in my own personal life. And I feel like it's fun to watch our impact on somebody else's business or their personal life, and that's just fun. I just like everybody says, part of it is just having fun. I mean, Jody and I spend, like you said, we have spent the last 15 years almost every single day either talking to each other or being around each other. And if you think about that, we don't agree on everything. There's a lot of things we totally are opposite on, but there's the core important things like success, making our business better, helping our employees, watching them grow. That's one of the impacts that I don't think people realize is watching your employees buy a house or take that next step in their life, have kids, send their kids to college, things like that. That's really enjoyable for me. And that's not what our business is about. I know that's really self-centered, but that I love seeing that. I love seeing people that have been with us we have people that have been with us for 12 years. The same people in our business for over 12 years. And
That's awesome.
I think it's great. Just moving into different arenas, I guess.
It's interesting because I think too, leaning into that, each of us have natural gifts, right? You're a people person. I'm very much a people person. And this really hit home earlier in the year when we rolled out to Dan Cummins, the Dan Cummins dealership family, right? Thank you, Paul Kane, Tim Holyfield, all of that entire team.
Travis.
Travis, Travis Roberts, they brought us in to bring in RotaFest in a very high volume situation, right? They have 87 detailers at one location, 30 at another location. And so Rod and I went on site, and they have this little.
I need to go out there, by the way.
Oh, dude, it's
I need to,
it's
like,
an
next time you
incredible.
guys go, let me know. I want to
We're
go.
actually going October 18th if you want to
I'll
go. So we'd
I
love
wanna
to
go.
have you. So I'm sure I'll send you the hotel, all the stuff.
Send me. I really do. I really want to go.
Yeah,
'Cause
we'd
that's
love.
insane.
Well, and what was cool was they have this little, I call them a community, but they're a group. They're all Spanish speaking, right? And I told Tim, I said, you know what? I speak Spanish. Why don't we pull all of the Spanish speakers aside to themselves and let's dedicate some time training them on the software? Dude, they got so excited that somebody took the time to speak to them in their language, to dedicate, some time to walk them through all of their questions, all of their concerns. And it was one of the best experiences I've had this year, right? Because it reminded me that every member of your team is important, and how you give them the attention and the training, all of that stuff is important because it builds a culture of unity. It builds a culture of I'm in with you on your vision, and I'll help you build it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
You
it
need
also
that, dude.
it shows the just the dedication that the team, the management team has. I honestly
Yes.
never been at a company that size where upper management all the way into the C level cared about the employees enough to do that. Like what he's talking about on the 18th and 19th, we are going to be skills validating and certifying 26 of their detailers. Um, that they're paying for all of that. They're bringing their people in, they're getting them certified. I know a lot of shops worry about that stuff. I've talked to owners like, yeah, but if I get my guys certified in this, that they're just going to leave and start their own thing. You have to show them you
Man, that is just that, dude. When people say that, I was like, bro, like, at least you can't own somebody, bro. Like, you can't keep someone from doing that. Like,
yeah.
I want those guys. I want those guys to become so good that, yeah, they want to go do it. Go ahead, bro. It ain't easy. Like, you can do it. Cool. But I want, while you're here, I want you to be the best possible you. I
Right.
just think that's crazy because I hear that so many, like, even with your guys' software, it's like, oh, so what are you doing? You tell them what they're doing, they never do it. Because I have most of my friends are in the car business, like doing what I'm doing. I would say, like 100% of all my friends are in the business. It's crazy, like how people think that. It's like one of my best friends is a dent guy. One of my best friends actually just passed away like last 2 weeks ago, and he was a dent guy. He was actually the person that mentored me, but he was like that forever. He didn't teach me because at first he was like weird about it. It's like, I'm like, bro, like,
Yeah.
now he's died, and if you learn from me, you learn from him. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, right? When you empower your team, it empowers your business.
Oh yeah,
Right.
dude.
I
Like,
mean, I think about, the guy that took Amy, drove her home. All he did was rave about JNG Auto Recon and how he felt like he was part of a team.
yeah.
He was excited. How do you think that made the customer feel? Amy, all she's going, and Jamie, his team's the best, blah, blah,
Yeah.
just going off.
I don't know, man. I want people smarter than me.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
want people.
that is
I
the
don't want
key,
to surround
though.
my.
That is the key. There's so many people that are business owners that have such an ego that think that it's all because of them. And, the thing about it is when you start hiring employees and you have a workforce behind you, they're the reason you're getting where you're getting, and you have to recognize that because it's not about your ego or what you've done. It's what we've done. Right. I mean, I want to be standing there with our whole team going, look at what we've done. Look at what we created, because it wasn't Jody and I, right? There's a team of really smart people behind us that are doing the work and making it happen. I mean, if it was just Jody and I, we'd be doing something completely different, but it's not. And that's where I think that employees that, or I'm sorry, business owners that go to that next level, if you can hire an employee and do really good at bringing in and mentoring and getting an employee and a team of people to do good work that is your expectation, the customer's expectation, you're going to succeed. You're going to succeed no
Yeah,
matter what you're doing, whether you're flipping burgers or painting cars or polishing cars or doing anything.
I remember an experience that we had pretty early on. We hired a young guy, really talented, right? And I loved having him on his team. He's very creative, and he decided to go take a position at a different software company, a little bigger one, right? And one of our team members came and said, "Oh man, we can't afford to let him go." I'm like, "What are you talking about? He's outgrown where we are, and he's been a great team member. Why wouldn't we facilitate that?" And now, he comes back and we have a great relationship. But I think a lot of times we, out of fear, try to squash the talents and the natural gifts of our employees when we could be leaning into those and helping them build both as an individual, but helping them build in our team.
Yeah, you can't think like that. I think that's just the old way of thinking. Like Elon Musk, yeah, you see him, he's Tesla, but the dude has 500 dudes underneath him that are bosses that are like crazy smart. Ain't no one made it by themselves.
Right.
There's not one. It's always like that. Even if you go back and like even like mob bosses or something like that. Like you go, ain't no one did anything on their own.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
if he said that, that's why you're probably there's just never
Yeah.
happened.
It's the same thing. If you look at somebody that's a like, superstar, right? Let's take like a Michael Phelps. Guy's got massive natural talent. He's got double jointed shoulders. He can rotate his arms faster than anybody in swimming. Guess what? He wouldn't say he did it on his own. He talks about his coaches and the people that mentored him and the people that helped him get where he wanted to be. We all have that. You look at, like behind you there, you got some Rupes polishers up on the wall. Rupes has a team that designs those polishers, right? They don't, it's not like one person goes in there and does it. They have people that do it for them. And then I think that's knowing when to reach out and get somebody in is the best thing ever. I mean, Jody, I'll give you a perfect example. For a couple of years, we've had this big project that we've been running for since our second year to the day. We had a client, they came with us when we changed over from a different company, and they've been with us since then. And we needed somebody else on the project, and I was hesitant to do it. I was really hesitant to bring somebody from the outside in. And we hired a contractor that was on a 6-month contract to try them out. That guy's been with us for 2.5 years now, maybe 3 years.
Yeah.
But it was one of the best decisions was to bring somebody else in so that we could up the talent pool and up the knowledge base.
The life is so much easier when your guys are properly trained and can handle the task at the proper level without supervision. Do they ask questions? Absolutely. And as a team, we can make decisions. I love that, right? Because I think, really giving your team the right tools helps you as an owner grow
Yeah,
too.
another thing too is if they're doing the job with you, they're not doing their job. Their job is not done. Like if they need you there, you didn't train them right, and they still don't know how to do their job.
Yeah.
So like if they're not doing it good, it's just your fault.
It's a reflection of
like
your
you can't.
leadership.
You shouldn't have to go. If you have the right systems in place, there's going to be things that you might have to brainstorm about and be like, hey, let's go look over this. I don't know what I can do. But a lot of times we'll look at something that needs to be done. We just like, no, it just is what it is. But if you need to babysit your jobs, and if you call, I have a friend that calls me and he's bitching about his employees and he's like, you can't do the job. It's like, bro, you're the teacher. Like they're not teaching you right. Like you're not, it's just all back on you. Like they need to know their job. The person that goes to Starbucks knows how to make the coffee. If they make a bad coffee, you're not going to pay for it. You're going to be pissed off. Same thing with detailing. There's not much different. It is hard work. Detailing is not for the weak. Like,
but the one thing you just said there that makes a lot of sense is like if you go to a Starbucks, and I don't care if the employee's been there for 6 weeks, if they make a bad drink and you go up and say, hey, I asked for coconut and this tastes like caramel, they throw it away and they make you a new one. They have the okay to make a mistake and they know how to fix it. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes in our industry, but in every industry, is giving your employees the permission that when they make a mistake, how to fix it, right? If I just grab somebody and I say, okay, like let's look up behind Jody's shoulder there, there's a big old DeWalt rotary up on the top of a shelf. It's probably got a lot of dust on it, but if I give somebody a rotary and I'm like, you've never touched a polisher, now go over here and push as hard as you can and go ahead and go. Now they're going to burn through the paint, right? And not everybody knows how to fix that. In your shop, luckily you guys have painters, and so there's a way to do that. But I'm sure that there's a transition where somebody's like, okay, look, I burnt the paint, right? And what do we do to fix it? And then you're going to show them this is what we do to fix it.
Yeah, that's I don't know. You gotta just if you want to go and level up, it's all you. It's like if you're mad about this guy, it's because you're holding out. Like you don't want to teach him properly. You have some ego in your head that you're like, oh, I don't want to teach him that because he's gonna go and start his own company. You know, people like that. It's like, bro, like what are you talking about? Like your customers need to be taken care of right now.
Yeah.
Like you can't pull back this dude because you just want to go make yourself look good or belittle the guy that oh you didn't do it right, dude. That's just such a weak way of thinking, you know.
Yeah, same thing with
like
your
that.
customers. We had a customer once, and Jody will know who this is, but at one time they wanted to hire their own software engineers. And we told them, we said, hey, we'll help you find somebody. We'll interview them. We'll do it. And they started that process. And then when they realized, you know, what was going to be involved in that, they're still with us, but they were glad and they were surprised that we would help them. It's like, no, of course we'll help you. We want you to be successful. Even if you're not using us, we want you to be successful. That's not anything. I mean, that's just a personal thing. I want people to be successful. I don't want anybody to struggle and hurt and all that stuff. This country has got so many opportunities, and every single human on the planet in this country can be successful and can make it, you know?
Yeah.
And I like that you said a weak mindset, right? And I'm thinking about Shad's because he's always talking about mindset. And I love that, but I like the way you work with your mindset. You're like, look, I can't be afraid of somebody growing. In fact, I need them to grow for me to grow. And if they outgrow me or their gifts take them in another direction, that's great because I've been part of their journey. There's something empowering about being part of somebody's journey. And sometimes they stay with you and they keep helping you build, but sometimes they do go their own ways.
You want that. Like, you know, my both my kids were into dance and they dance a lot, and we're at a different studio. Now we went to another one, and there's no disrespect about the people that they just outgrew that.
Yeah.
You know, but they took it as disrespectful because I was like, no, man, we have Madeline. Like, you help my kid's journey.
Yeah.
You're part of that journey of these different, you know, of everyone's journey. It's like, all right, now it's your next thing. It's like I'm honored, bro. Like if someone comes here and they go and start their company and then they go do this, or like I have people that worked here that different engine now they were going to school and they became engineers and they're like, oh yeah, well I want to actually make something for the detailing or painter side, you know, develop something. And it's like, bro, hell yeah, I want you to do that too.
Yeah.
Because then I can be like, dude, this dude was here, like he's cool, you know. Like, I don't know, man. I think there's life is so good, bro. Like you want everyone to be good. If you don't think that way, it's because you're just bad at, like, there's something wrong with you.
You're
You gotta
afraid.
go, yeah, you're afraid or there's something. But I don't have no problems with, like, I'll teach my guys everything that I know because first of all, no one did that with me. Like, mine's trial and error. Like, I've gotten repossessions, I've gotten, you know, debt collectors, I gotten, you know, just bad things happen. Like, I was making, like, you know, this was a long time ago. There was weeks I was doing details for like $50, you know, and only getting 3 a week and then paying gas, you know, like, so you're doing that. And then you come into, you know, my wife was like, dude, what are you doing? Cause I was a service writer. I don't know what a service writer is, right? So like I worked at a Subaru dealership. So I was a detailer at a Honda store, and then I went to a Subaru dealership. Then I was a service rider, and I was making really good money being a service rider, especially at a 20-year-old kid. Like I was like, I was making really good money, and then, but I really liked detailing. I really liked paint. I really liked just all that. So when I left that, and I just wasn't making any money, and I was like, babe, like, this is what I want to do. It's happy. I hated the other things. Anyways, I don't even want to went on a rant, but
No, no,
I've messed up so much, dude. I'm glad I've grown. It,
but
it,
let's talk about that, right? Because I think a lot of times we really struggle with the idea of failure, right? We're working towards something. We're not quite making it happen, but we're happy. And fortunately for you, you had a wife that said, "All right, babe, what are we doing? Right? Is this really where we're going?"
yeah.
And she had enough faith in you to go, "All right, I'm going to go with you on the journey." I mean, Rod and I had that same thing with our wives. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's the thing is, any business owner has done that. You look at life as like right now, life is good, but every single business owner has got a divorce probably, or pretty close to it, or just dealt with people not being, I don't know, not having the support system.
yeah.
Like I had the support system, but it was like I had to sell it to her. I was like, hey babe, dude, I'm not freaking going back to that place. I don't care. I'd rather be homeless. This is what I'm gonna do. Like this is what I want to do. Then I started painting, I started doing like mobile bumper repair and all that. And yeah, you people don't understand, man. This is rough out here.
It is rough, and I like that you said that you had to sell it to her,
Yeah, dude.
right? Because I think a lot of times, especially when you're starting out, people go, "Oh, I have this great idea for a business. I'm going to go be a detailer," and they go, "Really,
Yeah, you
really?"
idiot,
And,
dude.
right?
What are
And
you
so
doing?
you have to sell them on your vision. And your vision has to be strong enough and passionate enough that you can articulate it in a way that gets people behind you and supports you. And to be honest, the first 3 years Rod and I were in business, even the first 5, dude, it was a huge uphill struggle.
Oh yeah,
Huge
dude.
uphill struggle.
The It's funny because like family members too, like you have your family and they're like you like all they do is hate on you. Like, oh, you're gonna go do this. Why?
Yeah.
A bunch of negativity. They don't believe in you. And all the whole time you're just trying to get accepted by them. You're like, man, bro, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Anyways,
Well,
whatever,
yeah,
bro.
my
You
mom.
gotta sell the wife though is the main thing. I was like, dude, like, babe, I'm not an idiot. And I know I'm not an idiot because you're with me. You're really smart. Like, let's figure this out. The long term is gonna be better. I just want to be happy. That's it. And what
Yeah.
I was doing was it just wasn't it.
Yep.
And when you're driven by being happy and passion and vision, dude, it makes the suck bearable, right?
Oh
It's like
yeah.
I'm building this. I know it's painful now. I don't know how I'm gonna open the doors,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna kick the doors open.
And it's accountability. Everything's your fault. And I like to have that feeling even now. I like to know like if this something bad's happening to me or there's some things are going on, it's me. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, handle your business. Like,
Yeah.
people aren't, it's crazy, man. I think just businesses, it's not for
It's a full
everybody.
contact
It's not
sport.
for everybody, bro. Like,
Sport.
even just if I couldn't imagine like even what you guys are doing, like you're right here, dude. You're freaking traveling.
Yeah.
Like that's to
Yeah.
me, that's dude, as much as you guys travel, it's crazy. Like, but you guys do it, and people don't understand. It's like you need to have the family at home to support that.
Yes.
There's not a lot of women or parent or kids or that you can do that and it work.
Yeah, and Rod and I have been very purposeful in that decision to travel and be a part of it, right? It's goes back to that vision of we want to have the greatest impact on you, and the best way that I can do it is if I'm working shoulder to shoulder and learning and guiding and teaching, right? And it comes at a cost. It does come at a cost, but you have to own the ownership of that cost.
Hmm.
And I think a lot of people, they want the success, but they don't want the price that is required to earn that success.
Right.
So looking back, you've been in business,
15 years.
shit,
Yeah,
same
15,
as us,
yeah.
right? So what are some key tools that you found have been critical to your success?
I would say probably learning credit, learning how to float money,
Mm,
learning, um,
Yes,
paying
sir.
yourself, paying yourself like just because you have a good month this month doesn't mean you go ball out and you go and just pay yourself. It's like growing up, I learned, like I said, I've gotten repossessions, bankruptcy when I was younger, and I just realized, the game of learning how to float certain things, live between, you just learning credit. That
mm,
I feel like that's my main thing, and then, learning from everybody, you know? Books, tons of books,
Yep.
Audible, I listen to all day long, I'm listening to different finance things. Once you learn finance, and then you figure out how people want like, every one of these guys, some of them wanna make money, someone like their time, someone like it's like you just gotta figure out how to manage everybody. So, my main thing, I feel like it's at least on this level, because I never thought I was gonna be able to have, where I'm at right now. Not saying I'm still wanna go more, but I never those were those when I figured out how to do all that stuff, it was nothing.
yeah, that's good. So, Rod, you started to make a comment.
No, I was gonna just go. I was thinking the same thing that Jamie was. I mean, I think that a lot of people get this idea that I'll use the analogy that I use with my kids. They hate this one, but they're shaking their heads right now, even if they're not listening. Everybody starts out with a piece of crap car. All right. We all started out with a crappy car, right? But then when you get to the point where you go buy your first brand new car, you still have the experience of that crappy car. And there's things you learned from it, right? When I started out, my first car was a 1964 Volkswagen Bug that the steering wheel would come off of, and I had to double clutch it. I had to put my left foot on the brake and the clutch because I had to feather the gas to keep it running. And it's not that I want to go back to those days. I don't want to have a car that runs like that, but it was important for me to learn from that on how to keep that thing going. And I think that as you go through life and in your business, you learn to appreciate the crappy stuff. Like learn to appreciate the fact that you had your first shop and your next shop and your next shop, and learn to enjoy the journey. And we got some advice just 2 days ago from our 1994 Ford Escort. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Ryan.
So it is it's important to enjoy where you're at. 19 what? It was 1964 Volkswagen Beetle. So I
That's
think
funny. I had a
Yeah.
1965, but that was my first car.
yeah, no, Jody's was a 65. So I think it's important to enjoy that. And I think that's in everything, right? When you have kids, you enjoy every stage, every moment they're in. And you have that, everybody has that favorite age. I love kids when they're 18 months old. I call them a drunk monkey, and they just run around and just wow, they just go nuts. But you want them to get to that next stage. You want them to stay there, but you got to go to the next stage. And that's the same thing in business. I think a lot of times people get I don't want to say comfortable. Sometimes they're uncomfortable at the level they're at, but they're more uncomfortable to go into the unknown. And they don't know what that next level is going to hold. And I think that's the problem. I don't like where I'm at, but I don't have the knowledge to know what it's going to be. And it's like, man, take that step. Take that step and go into it. But take it smart. One of the really big advantages that Jody and I have is in our opposite approaches to things. Jody, a lot of times, is 100 miles an hour, right? He is balls
Build it
Yeah.
as I go.
Yeah.
Oh, no, no.
You like that.
And I am more of a let's take 5 minutes, let's take a break, let's make sure that we have everything. Does everybody have a water? Has everybody gone potty? Okay, now let's go. And whereas those two, I can help Jody slow down enough that we don't we don't have a problem, but Jody can help me have enough pressure that we actually make the next move, that we're not preparing all the time. And I think that if you just put that into the two sides of your brain, you've got to be able to contrast those two sides of your brain with that. And so, hold on, I got one other thing to say is Ryan told me that he thought I looked like I was lonely.
No, he's distracted.
I'm not lonely.
I knew exactly what was going on. He's not
friend.
lonely. He's distracted. Kona's there, and I knew every. I knew every time
we need
you
a shop
looked down.
dog here.
Yeah, so that he's now the shop dog.
Yeah, we need one. We need a whole fleet of them. We have some shop squirrels. You seen the shop
I saw
squirrels?
him playing with the squirrels.
Yeah, we have some shop squirrels.
That's fun.
Yeah, he's not doing bad. But anyway, I think that's the thing, is enjoying that journey and making sure that you pick up what you need to from each stage along the way. When you are in a rough financial situation, like you talked about, Jamie, you pick up things that you get from that. You're like, hey, man, back in the day, I could only pay myself a certain salary. And so when you start doing when you start doing better, you don't just automatically go, I'm going to give myself,
that's funny. That dog does look like Rod. That's funny.
It's that double chin thing going on there.
Man, dude.
I think that's what we got to do, is we got to enjoy where we're at and learn from those areas, because it helps us. How many of you owners of a business that are watching this right now can raise your hand and say that you've been at a stage in your business where your employees made more money than you did?
Oh, yeah.
Jody and I, for sure.
For sure.
And they don't understand that. It's like, dude, sometimes, that's been a lot.
That's been a lot.
But see, like a lot of, I know guys that they'll get rid of people. And like, no, bro, like, what are you talking about? Dude, like, they worked for it.
Yeah, there were years,
dude, people are, man,
when our developers were making more than Rod and I. I mean, years, right? Because we were invested in our team and in our vision.
Smart.
Yeah, and
it's like, that's, I think you have to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you want to keep people, or you're gonna just be one of those. You're just gonna work solo mission, and you're gonna run out.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. Well, dude, I have absolutely loved this conversation. It's been so nice to come and drop in. So the reason why Rod's not here is because I actually came down for a wedding.
Yeah.
I have a wedding tomorrow. So I'm like, you know what? I'm down here. I'm going to go see my boy Jamie, going to go see Blue Zero this afternoon. And it's just fun.
It's like that, dude. I've been telling him for years to use you guys. But, it's like, finally, I was like, bro, this is ridiculous, bro. You got to step your game up. Like, go use these dudes.
Yeah, well, we're excited. We've built something very special for them, and they needed a special report, and our developers have been working on it the last couple of weeks, and we finally got it. Rod and I need to do one last approval check, but I think we're ready to roll it out to them, so we're cool. So, but anyway, thank you so much for being
thank you guys
such a big part of our growth, and we've loved being a part of your growth, and it's just fun, man. We love you, we love your team, we love your energy.
Dude, I tried today. I'm kind of I'm worn out, but I don't even know what I'm like. Why am I so tired today, bro? Like, man, I'm just like,
you're all
kind of chill. It's what chill mode today.
So
that's right, chill mode. Yes. So Jody and I are actually going to be in the studio for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Like we said, the next time we're out of town is the 18th and the 19th of October. We're going to be doing that. It's actually going to be part of Global SV Week. So, Jamie, if you seriously are coming down there, sign the paper.
We'd love to have you. I'll send you the stuff.
So you can proctor some of those exams, because there's 26 of them. I'm going to be proctoring some exams, and I like I said, I'm all joking and everything, but when you're taking an exam, it's got to be top tier, baby. No freebies. So
yeah, he's serious.
Yeah, I'm down, dude. I really want to see like what's going on. There's some places people don't understand. It's like these big shop, like, I don't know, I guess even the Ashbury's over here. Like, dude, it's like, bro, you go to their detail facility, it's like insane, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
It's crazy efficient. It's like
in Houston, we had a client for a while that had they were putting 144 cars a day through the detail bay.
Yeah, you can't like a mobile dude or like a couple man operation. You can't even
You can't.
comprehend that.
No,
Because they'll be like, oh, well, it's a dealership where they're doing. I'm like, bro, it don't even like if you put 4 of those dudes on a regular car, dude, that thing will be brand new.
Yeah,
These
yeah.
dudes
Yeah,
are just
yeah,
so
it's
efficient.
insane watching those things work. So, yeah, I'm excited. I want to come down. Jody and I've got we want to come down. We got a really cool thing planned at some point that we need to come down there and hang out at your shop and go over and talk to Shad. And we're gonna do some on the road stuff. We just got to plan it out for the right time of the year, but
Yeah.
we need to come down there for sure now because I got
Anytime. You guys already know. Anytime you can
Yeah.
come out. I need to come up there.
Yeah,
I
we'd
need
love to
freaking
have you.
It's
So-
not that far either. I need to
So,
just roll up.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having us. Thank you guys for tapping in. Please go out to YouTube, subscribe to the Road FS channel as well as Born Detailers TV. Dude, that Shad and Jamie, they have some great discussions for design for detailers. So please go check it out. And of course, if you looking for a great CRM, we are your guys. We're here to walk with you, grow with you, and it's just fun to be a part. So thank you guys so much for tapping in. And we will check you guys same time, same bat channel just next week.